first of all, I want to big up every single person behind the scenes who's helped like put this whole thing together. I actually grew up watching these, and obviously TED Talks have massively inspired me along my journey. So yeah, just to elaborate on what Selvin was saying just there, my name's Aaron Unknown. I'm from South London. And yeah, I started an independent record label about 3 years ago. So anyone can do that. Like, you should just go online, Google how to start a label. It's pretty simple. Or if you see me afterwards, come and ask me if anyone out here wants to do that. I can explain to you how to do that. But yeah, so I started my own label. I was like, let me just put my own stuff out, see how it goes. Because music for me was always a hobby. But I was like, let me try and take it to another level, put some stuff out, see how it goes. And the response was just amazing. So I was like, wow. And the main sort of feedback that I got was that I've sort of helped people to go and do their own thing, or I've inspired someone to take their step. Do you see what I'm saying? So I was just like, okay, I need to keep going and keep going. So today this is more of like an unorthodox piece, because I'm not really much of a speaker. I don't know if you can tell. I like to put my expression into my music. So I'm going to give you a spoken rendition of one of my songs. It's called Letter to Myself. And I wrote this song during Mental Health Awareness Week, I think that's what it's called, last year. And I released it for everyone, but I think for me as a young man, growing up seeing like a lot of young men facing, like, there's a lot of toxic masculinity, do you know what I mean? And a lot of people are sort of pressured into this macho mode. And it's like, you can't show your emotions, you can't be upset about things, and you have to sort of just bottle it all inside. So this for me was like, let me go within myself. Let me not look externally, because all of my peers would be like, man up, what are you doing? Like, why are you crying? You're being a girl or whatever. And for me, it's like, you have to listen to yourself sometimes. So I went within myself, and I wrote a letter to myself, and yeah, this is it. So, hyping again. Negative thoughts, they had me drink driving again. I lost touch with the circle just to hide in my ends, to lie in my bed. Most days high up my head, see what goes up must come down. The same if you're flipping it around. So I broke the cycle again. Now I've found my lines and we're forming up a pride. You know there's only certified guys in the den. I realized that I had to start writing again. Some individuals rely on what I write with a pen, but I lost touch with what I love. But now I'm back with it. Suddenly I'm climbing up the spiral again. I stopped answering my phone. I had to focus on my goals. And last year I had to say goodbye to some friends. But most of them were just snakes in the grass that were biting my bread. Ride to die, but they lie and pretend. They're always claiming how they got your back 100%, but only there when they want something. You see, it's funny how them same brothers that had moved sly for a tens will probably try to get your wifey and get lively in bed. So while they're putting in 80, the scales are out of balance, because you know I'm always putting in 100%, but sleep has been lacking lately. My energy is channeled into stresses of reality, like paying the rent. But it's a letter to myself, real talk. A letter to myself, ayy. A letter to myself. See, I was better in my wealth, subsequently was detrimental to health. Look, this is a letter to myself. So yeah, I sort of sing in there, so I'm not really gonna sing. I'll just come into the second verse. You say you're feeling down, and trust me, I know the feeling. Some days can't leave the house, reschedule another meeting. Exhausted to the core, I'm still having trouble with sleeping. I used to smoke myself to oblivion in the evenings, but the first step to healing is discovering the weakness. And if you feel there's nothing to believe in, well, let me give you something to believe in. One moment to address all the blessings that you're receiving, so take a deep breath and know you're breathing. Take a big stretch up to the ceiling, and leave your house with nothing but your keys. My brother, you don't need a reason. Maybe discover another region, participate in things that seem appealing. I'm ticking off my bucket list of places that I'm seen in, but when's the last time I took a scene in? When is the last time I took a scene in? I'm discovering myself and I'm releasing all my demons. See, I'm living my reality. Don't pinch me when I'm dreaming. It's a letter to myself. This is a letter to myself. Hey, a letter to myself. yeah. So sort of that's how it ends there, and obviously that phases out. I'm singing the chorus and whatever. Thank you. Wow. So yeah, that basically, I sort of wanted to elaborate on that piece. I'm a lot calmer now. I don't know if you've noticed. When I first come up here, I was a bit shaky. So the whole reason why I'm still here, and I just need to give a massive shout out to to Selvin and Matty, like personally, big shout out to every single person that has welcomed me since I've been here, but like those two particularly, last night I had a bit of a journey. Drove up here from London with my girlfriend, she's sitting right there, bless her. And yeah, I sort of pulled over a few times and I just contemplated not even coming here because I was like, I can't do this. This isn't my, like, I'm so nervous, blah, blah, blah. And I just had this overwhelming sort of sense of nerves. And those two guys really, really calmed me down last night. They just helped me sort of see the bigger picture. And I don't know, I'm just so happy that I actually came up here. And that's why I wanted to base sort of the end of this speech on the inner conversation, because as we look inside ourselves, everyone has a little voice within their head, yeah? And I don't know if we ever really look to see what that ever is, do you know what I mean? So from a very young age, I've had this little voice and I was like, let me explore that. What is this? And I chose to listen to it. And every time I listened to it, it saved me from like a crazy situation, or it pulled me out of something. I don't know if anyone here can relate to that, but I see that as like my conscience, right? And a lot of the time, as people, we sort of look outside for the answers. And I don't know if I'm sort of going back in circles now because I mentioned this at the start, but basically I just want to say that you have to look within yourself. Like, you could be seeking externally for your whole life, and I'm only 26 years old, I'm still searching for sort of my direction, but with that, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, you have to listen to yourself and just take time, meditate upon yourself. Don't always just ask your peers or whatever, or your family members, because they won't know and they'll try and, like, everyone has their own individual perspective. There's no way that I could ever say anything that you guys have seen, or that vice versa, you could never see anything that I've ever seen, because we all see it from a slightly different perspective. So I think it's very important to just live your own truth from yourself, and yeah, and then express it to the world, do you know what I mean? But on that sort of very short bombshell, I think I'm going to leave it there. But anyone who's interested in seeking my music further, just search Aaron Unknown onto any digital platform, whatever, and you can find a lot more. Like I said, speaking in public isn't my strong point. Give me half an hour here to do my music and you'll see a completely different side of me. But yeah, I don't know. So have a lovely day, and I hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, big love.